Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Moira, and today's episode of Arki Must-Haves is all about pens and pencils, plus a very special demo on how to use them when drafting floor plans. Before we start, I would first like to put out a disclaimer out there. It's in the description box of every episode. Again, everything that I will discuss is just based on my personal experience as an Arki student before. I admit I'm not the best draftsman because I'm a draftswoman. Manual plates were never really my strongest suit, but you know, I got by. I passed my classes. I still managed to graduate with honor, so what I will share is what worked for me, and I'm sure you'll still be able to pick up a thing or two in this video. So, without further ado, if you're interested in pens and pencils, I mean, who isn't? Let's jump right into the video. Woo! First, let's discuss the different pencils used in drafting. So we normally use graphite pencils, and the brand that I use is Staedtler. There are these blue iconic ones, and I actually just got these from Shopee last week. I literally lost all of my pencils except for one. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and I'm very positive that you will lose your pencils too if you take up Arki. But anyways, if you're interested in buying these, the link will be down below. So if you will notice, each pencil has a label on them, and that actually dictates the hardness grade. Their categories include H, HB, B, and F. H stands for hard, B stands for black, HB means hard black, and F means fine, because she fine. Then there are further subcategories under H and B, so the actual range of all available pencils in the market is from 9H to H, then HB and F in the middle, and then B to 9B. So it's a lot. H pencils have harder pencil leads, which will make them appear lighter in drawing, while B pencils have softer pencil leads, which make them darker in your drawings. And then HB is a bit of a combination of the two. It's like the middle ground, and it's also the one most commonly used when writing. I'd say HB pencils are similar to Mongol No. 2 pencils, and side note, also buy Mongol No. 2 pencils because that's the one you will be using for exams. And then the F pencil is my favorite. It's kind of like HB, but the lines that you will produce are a bit finer and they smudge less, in my opinion. Now, do not be scared of the large quantity of pencils available. Honestly, you don't need to buy every single one of these. I suggest to focus on the ones in the middle and then maybe skip a pencil or two, and that's really all you need to survive. You're gonna have favorite pencils eventually, so you're not gonna be like reaching out for a different pencil every single time. So for this video, we'll just focus on these few because they are the ones that I bought from Shopee. And also, I recommend that you buy 2 HB and F pencils each because they are the ones that you will most likely use the most. So to demonstrate how to use these pencils, we're gonna draft a very simple floor plan. I am starting off by drawing guidelines using the pencil 5H because it's the lightest one that I have, and of course, I purposely also use a light hand when making guidelines. Next up are the walls, and here I'm using the pencil 3B because walls have to be thick. So I'm using the second heaviest pencil that I have. And then for the columns, I'm using the darkest one that I have, which is 6B. Structural parts such as columns are usually the heaviest in line weight, and I also put a hatch over it just because I wanted to. And then I'm going over it again to make them even thicker. For the fixtures such as doors, windows, and the countertops, I am using the pencil HB, so it's a bit thinner than the walls. So I am making a kitchen/dining layout for this video. The layout is not the best. I just made the simplest one I could think of just for the purpose of speeding up this video. And then here I'm putting some hidden lines to represent the overhead cabinets, and I use the pencil 3H for that because since it's supposed to be hidden, it's supposed to be light. And then for the furniture, I'm using the pencil H because again, it's movable, it's supposed to be light. And then for the dimensions, I'm using the pencil F because for me, it doesn't smudge, and you're gonna be putting a lot of dimensions when you're making floor plans. Using 5H for the guidelines again, and then the text is in F. Then for the title block, that line and circle thing, I made use of the pencil 3B, and then the guidelines using 5H, and for the text, I use HB. And here is the moment that I realized I messed up. I put 1:100 meters instead of the right scale. I don't know where my head was at this point, so I had to redo it. It be like that sometimes. But I still managed to write the wrong scale. It's supposed to be 1:50, not 1:500. But I managed to correct it afterwards. Anyways, here is the final output of the floor plan using pencils. Now let's move on to pens. So for drafting, we use what we call technical pens, and the brand that I use is Unipin. They're a very popular brand, and again, just like the pencils, they also have a range which is from 0.03 to 0.8. These numbers indicate the tip sizes, so the higher the number is, then the greater the tip size of the pen will be. Again, you don't have to buy every single one. You can just focus on the middle range, skip a pen or two, and that's all good. Now, these are the pens that I will be using for the demo because they're the ones that I already own. I know I should have the 0.1 pen instead of the 0.2, but I didn't want to pay shipping fee just for one single pen. So 0.2 it is! I am starting by drawing guidelines again. Of course, for this, I'm still gonna use pencil. This is the same pencil that I used before, which is 5H. Then for the walls, I'm using the pen 0.3. Same principle as before, I used the second darkest pen that I own. And then after that, I decided to do the fixtures first. So that's the door, windows, and counters, and sink. I didn't want to do the columns first because my 0.7 pen sucks and I didn't want it to smudge easily. Then for the furniture, which again is temporary / movable, I use a light one for this. So that's 0.05, which is my favorite pen, and then I also use that for the hidden lines. And I did this thing where I used my protractor for the door swing. Please do not do that, it was a mistake. And then here are the columns using my 0.7 pen, which is crappy, but I had to make do with what I own. Then I went over it again. I did this freehand, but please use a ruler just to save yourself from making mistakes. And then for the dimensions, here I'm using the pen 0.2. The guidelines are in the 5H pencil again, and then the text is in 0.2 pen. Then for the title block, I believe I used the pen 0.3 for this. Guidelines again in 5H, and then text in 0.3. And this time I did not mess up the scale. And one trick that I love to do before is to use a black Sharpie or a marker to fill in the walls. I just think this makes the floor plan look more professional and it hides your mistakes. Then I just hatched the columns because I wanted to, and that's the floor plan using pens. I know, the door swing ain't it. These are the two floor plans using different mediums side by side. Finally, here is a recap of everything that I just discussed about pens and pencils. But guys, that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe, and also don't forget to click on the notification Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you're updated whenever I post a new video. Comment down below what video you want to see next, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!